What's up? This is Dad Dirty Spoons from the IWC, and this is the wrestling recap for May 1st, 2013. I have had two very stressful and very aggravating weeks, and it has really feels good to be able to deliver this short but informative episode of the wrestling recap today. It's even more satisfying that the Houston Rockets just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 5 of the first round of the Western Conference Championships, or playoffs, whatever they're called. And so I'd like to give a big shout out to my good friend, Boonda713, huge Rockets fan. I know he's stoked right now. I'm happy, even though the Yankees beat the Astros, but we got one on them, so it wasn't a sweep. And small victories. Anyway, now with all those regular sports, big news out of WWE: John Cena is hurt. No confirmation on whether or not John Cena's ankle injury is a legitimate injury or if it's just storyline driven, but it does, the fact that WWE is pointing out does prove that they do not think that they've built John Cena to the point that there is nobody that can stop him when John Cena goes beast mode or Super Saiyan or whatever. And so now they have to add this little wrinkle in John Cena's repertoire to make him a vulnerable champion going into Extreme Rules in 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks now. And this is a direct result of booking Cena so strong for so long. Even when he wasn't the champ, he was still main eventing. He was still the focus of the show. And now WWE is really put themselves in this position. On the one hand, if John Cena is in fact injured and cannot perform, the ratings are going to take a hit. We learned that last year. I do not put the low ratings or the ratings spike in the downtrend, I guess, on CM Punk when he was a champion. I think that there was a lot of factors, but if you just go week to week and you look at shows where they announced at a time no John Cena, there was a noticeable lower TV ratings on those shows. That being the case, WWE is looking at two very unhappy situations. Situation one, John Cena is actually hurt. He cannot wrestle at Extreme Rules. They know they're going to suffer from the buy rates. Option two, they booked Cena so strong for so long that there is no legitimate current roster heel that can work with Cena outside of people that they've already matched up with Cena for the past 2 summers, and that's CM Punk. Neither one of those situations are exactly optimal. I think John Cena needs to drop the title at Extreme Rules and then disappear for at least 2 months until CM Punk decides to come back. And those two, they work great together. They really do. They can have a SummerSlam match, and then after that, the next pay-per-view, Night of Champions, John Cena goes and tries to get his title back. Personally, I would like John Cena to be gone a little bit longer than 2 months, but I don't know if WWE can really afford it. That being said, the other major title match for the World Heavyweight Championship, that includes Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger is still on the active roster. He has not been thus far in any public manner suspended or punished for his indiscretions outside of the week after he came back to WWE, his drunk driving charge. And I've got to say that if Jack Swagger was, that tells me a lot that WWE and more importantly Vince McMahon have big plans for Swagger if they're not going to let a little bit of something like the rules get in the way of telling a good story. So this next few weeks build is going to be very important. I'm going to be watching it very carefully because maybe WWE and more importantly, maybe Vince McMahon sees something in this gimmick in Jack Swagger that I don't see. I'm not a huge fan of this gimmick, even though they are moving away from it, especially in this triple threat, they can more focus on Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger, and it not turn into some political debate about immigration. So maybe that's the reason, maybe not. All I'm saying is, again, WWE would have to see something great in Jack Swagger or this gimmick to keep going forward with this character who now has one strike on his record. And that's just the policy and the rules they set for themselves that I expect them to continue to follow or ignore at their leisure. Hey, if you can write the rules, you can write the punishment. That's all I'm saying. And the other huge story coming out of wrestling this week is TNA. They have, I guess we're 2 months into their run of live Impact, taped Impact on the road outside of Orlando, and the ratings have not really increased or what have you. I mean, basically the ratings are flat. They are the exact same ratings as they have. The ratings they have now are the same ratings they had at the Impact Zone. So I'm really curious to see at what point do they reallocate, try and go back to the Impact Zone. I have no idea. But having watched the last 2 episodes of Impact, not true, I did watch them on skipping commercials and things I really didn't want to see. They are still dominated by Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan, and Aces and Eights. And I really think that more than anything is the reason for their flat ratings level. Hulk Hogan, a non-wrestler, and Brooke Hogan, a non-wrestler, has dominated TNA programming the past 2 weeks. And last Thursday episode ended on quite the letdown, and I'm giving them something. So clearly TNA, good move getting out of the Impact Zone, and now they need to follow that up with some compelling storylines. And for the love of all things, please do something else. I mean, Bad Influence was teasing Fortune. I don't think that's the way to go. Not recycling old factions that are copies of older factions. I mean, start over from zero with Bully Ray as your champion, or Jeff Hardy, which I think is a better option as your champion, and then just go into the TV ratings business. That's all I'm saying. And those are the hot button issues that got me going that and the Rockets win got me in a really good mood this week, and I've been down for the past couple weeks and moving and broken computers and all sorts of other things, but all those things are behind me. There's a good summer of mediocre wrestling and very interesting wrestling stories. We've got the Divas reality show coming up. We've got WWE building a new facility in, surprisingly enough, Orlando. Maybe that's the reason why TNA is not there anymore. And this continuing drama with John Cena's injuries. There's a lot to look forward to this summer. When's Undertaker gonna wrestle again? He's already wrestled on free TV on SmackDown. Is he gonna wrestle at Extreme Rules, especially if Cena is legit injured? When's CM Punk gonna come back? That's what I want to know. Good times, good times. Anyways, it is really good to be back to what passes for normal. This has been That Dirty Spoon from the IWC, signing off. Go Rockets!